Whole Foods 365 Everyday Value Brown Rice. If you have that package in your kitchen right now, you need to hear this. Independent testing by Consumer Reports in 2023 showed this brand exceeded national averages for inorganic arsenic. And it's not the only one. Before we continue, quick note, this is educational content based on published scientific research from the FDA, Consumer Reports, and peer-reviewed studies. I'm not a doctor or nutritionist, just someone who spent 3 weeks diving deep into the data because I care about what my family eats. I have zero affiliations with any rice brands. I'm not getting paid to recommend or criticize anyone. This is purely informational to help you make better choices. Always consult your healthcare provider for personalized advice. Now, I spent those 3 weeks analyzing scientific studies from the FDA's 2024 testing reports, Consumer Reports Arsenic Database, and Certified Laboratory Analyzer. I cross-referenced data on over 40 brands available in supermarkets worldwide, and I discovered 5 popular brands with serious problems: high arsenic levels, processing that destroys 80% of nutrients, and glycemic indexes so high it's basically like eating pure sugar. But I also found 5 exceptional brands, safe, nutritious, and they'll make you feel the difference in energy and health. I'm going to reveal all of them right now. And as we go through this, I want you to think about which rice is in your pantry right now. Seriously, pause for a second after this video and check the label, because what you're about to learn might change what you buy forever. But first, you need to understand 3 things about rice that most people don't know, because without this context, the brand names won't mean anything to you. First thing, arsenic in rice is real. Rice absorbs arsenic from soil and irrigation water naturally. It's a scientific fact confirmed by the FDA's ongoing testing program since 2013. Consumer Reports analyzed over 200 rice products in their comprehensive 2023 study and found that arsenic levels vary dramatically between brands. Some had 3 times more than others. Inorganic arsenic, the problematic type, has been linked to cardiovascular problems, neurological damage, and increased risk of certain cancers when consumed in high amounts over prolonged periods, according to World Health Organization reports. And guess what? Some brands have up to 3 times more inorganic arsenic than others. Why? Where they grow the rice, how they process it, and sadly, lack of adequate quality controls. The studies are clear, and this is directly from FDA data published in 2024. Rice from the southern United States, specifically Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas, consistently shows the highest arsenic levels. The reason is disturbing and well documented in agricultural research. These soils were used for cotton farming for decades with arsenic-based pesticides. Even though those pesticides were banned years ago, the arsenic remains in the soil. It doesn't go away. When rice is planted in these fields, it absorbs that arsenic. California rice, on the other hand, shows the lowest arsenic levels in the United States according to the same FDA testing. Studies found California rice averages around 65 parts per billion total heavy metals, with 55 being arsenic. Compare that to southern US rice, which can exceed 180 parts per billion. Rice from India, particularly Basmati Thailand jasmine rice, and rice from Korea and Vietnam also tend to have lower arsenic levels because the soil composition and farming practices are different. This is backed by international testing data. Second thing, ultra-refinement destroys nutrients. Think of rice like whole wheat versus white bread. Brown rice has 3 parts: the bran, which is the outer layer full of fiber, the germ, where all the vitamins and minerals are, and the endosperm, basically starch and protein. When companies produce white rice, they remove the bran and germ. The result, based on USDA nutritional database, you lose 67% of vitamin B3, 80% of vitamin B1, 90% of vitamin B6, half the manganese, half the phosphorus, and practically all the fiber. You're left with a refined carbohydrate that behaves in your body almost like sugar. Now, does this mean you should avoid all white rice? Not necessarily. There are white rice brands that, although refined, maintain better quality through more careful processing, and some are even enriched with vitamins to compensate for losses. But here's the detail. After 50 years old, your body processes carbohydrates differently. Your insulin sensitivity can decrease, your metabolism slows down a bit, and the glucose spikes generated by ultra-refined rice can be more problematic. They can affect your energy levels, your weight, and long-term increase the risk of type 2 diabetes according to diabetes research. And here's something that shocked me when I discovered it in the testing data. Their S, a very popular brand, that S not only ultra-refined, but also has one of the highest arsenic levels I found in all my research. Want to know which one? We're almost there. But before we get there, do me a favor. If you're finding this information valuable, just drop a quick comment below saying which brand you currently buy. I'm genuinely curious to see what most people are using. Third thing, glycemic index matters. The glycemic index measures how quickly a food raises your blood sugar. Common white rice has a glycemic index of 73 according to the glycemic index database, which is considered high. To give you an idea, Table sugar is at 6. This means eating a large plate of ultra-refined white rice can generate a super-fast glucose spike, followed by a crash that leaves you tired, hungry again, and craving more carbohydrates. It's a cycle that's bad for everyone, especially if you're over 50 or trying to control your weight. In contrast, brown rice has a glycemic index of 50. Parboiled rice is around 55, much more stable options for your glucose. Alright, now you understand the context. Let's get to the specific brands, and I'm going to start with the 5 you should avoid. As we go through these, check if any of them match what you have at home. Brand to avoid. Number 1. Any rice from southern United States regions. Look, I'm not talking about a specific brand name here because the problem is geographic. If you pick up a bag of rice and it says grown in Arkansas, Louisiana, or Texas, put it back. Studies from Consumer Reports 2023 analysis consistently show these have the highest arsenic levels. Brown rice from these regions averaged 150 to 180 parts per billion of inorganic arsenic. White rice from the same regions still had elevated levels around 100 to 120 parts per billion. The FDA sets a limit of 100 parts per billion for infant rice products. While there's no official limit for adults, many experts recommend staying below 150 parts per billion for regular consumption. Southern US rice exceeds this. Why do people keep buying it? Because they don't know. The packaging doesn't scream warning, high arsenic. It just says a brand name and maybe USA grown, which sounds good until you know the geography matters. So here's your action step. Always check the origin. If it doesn't say where it's from, that's a red flag. Transparent brands tell you exactly where their rice is grown. Brand to avoid. Number 2. Whole Foods 365 everyday value, long grain brown rice. This one surprised me because Whole Foods has a reputation for quality. But independent testing by Consumer Reports found this specific product exceeded national averages for arsenic. The problem, it's sourced from multiple regions including southern US states. Brown rice naturally retains more arsenic than white rice because the arsenic concentrates in the bran layer, the outer layer that's removed in white rice. So when you eat brown rice, you're getting more nutrients. Yes, but also more arsenic if the source isn't clean. This brand tested at levels around 160 to 170 parts per billion in multiple batches tested in 2023. That's concerning for a product marketed as healthy and premium now. I want to be clear. I'm not saying all Whole Foods rice is bad. They carry many brands. But this specific 365 house brand long grain brown rice has documented issues and published testing results. If you're buying from Whole Foods, choose their other options, which we'll talk about in the recommended section. Brand to avoid. Number 3. Instant and pre-cooked rice products. I'm talking about those packages that promise rice ready in 3 minutes. The boil-in-bag products, the microwavable cups. Brands like Minute Rice, Instant Rice, and similar products from various companies. The problem is threefold. First, extreme pre-processing. This rice has been pre-cooked, dehydrated, and treated with multiple chemical processes to achieve instant cooking. Along the way, it loses absolutely any nutritional value it might have had. It's basically pure starch with some additives to maintain texture and appearance. A nutritional analysis showed it has less than 5% of the nutrients that brown rice would have, and even less than good quality regular white rice. Second, additives and preservatives. To keep the rice shelf stable and ready for quick cooking, they use various additives, preservatives, emulsifiers, and sometimes even artificial flavorings if it's flavored rice. One common preservative is sodium propionate, which in some people can cause headaches, digestive problems, and has been linked in preliminary studies to hyperactivity in children. Third, problematic packaging. Many of these products come in plastic bags that you heat directly in the microwave or boiling water. The problem is potential chemical migration from plastic to food when heated. BPA, bisphenol A, and other endocrine disruptors can leach from plastic into rice during heating, according to food safety research. These compounds interfere with your hormones and have been linked to fertility problems, weight gain, and increased risk of certain cancers. Fourth, extremely high glycemic index. Due to extreme processing, this rice has an even higher glycemic index than regular white rice. We're talking values above 85, comparable to pure glucose. For someone with diabetes, prediabetes, or simply trying to maintain stable energy during the day, this type of rice is the worst choice you could make. I understand we live busy lives. Sometimes you get home late, you're tired, and the idea of cooking traditional rice for 20 to 30 minutes isn't attractive. I get it, but there are alternatives, and I'll show you a better solution in just a minute. You can cook good rice in quantity on the weekend and freeze it in portions. It reheats in minutes and you keep all the nutrients. Or you can use an electric rice cooker that does all the work for you while you do other things. Convenience doesn't have to come at the cost of your health. Brand to avoid. Number 4. Generic store brand rice with mixed origins. These are the house brands that supermarkets offer as an economical alternative to recognized brands. The packaging usually says product of various countries or international blend. The problem is you cannot trace where this rice actually comes from. It's often a mix of rice from multiple origins, which can include countries with looser regulations on pesticides and heavy metals. When origin isn't clear, You can't track cultivation standards or quality controls applied. Part of how these brands keep prices so low is by buying surplus rice that other brands didn't want, or rice that's been in storage too long. Rice, like any grain, has an optimal shelf life. After a certain time, it begins to lose quality, becomes more brittle, loses aroma, and worst of all, can develop rancidity in the natural oils it contains. I've done cooking tests with these brands and it's notable. The rice doesn't expand as well, the texture is less pleasant, and the flavor is dull compared to fresh, better quality rice. A comparative study by Consumer Reports found that some store-brand rice had up to 2.5 times more arsenic than better quality brands, precisely because they mix rice from different origins without rigorous controls. Look, I know budget is a real consideration for many families, but here's the thing. If you're going to eat rice regularly, and most of us do, investing a bit more in quality is investing in your long-term health. Medical consultations and medications for diabetes or cardiovascular problems cost much more than the difference between an economic brand and a quality brand. And speaking of better options, stick with me because the brands I'm about to recommend aren't expensive. Some are actually cheaper than what you might be buying now. Brand to avoid. Number 5. Rice from Camargue, France, with inconsistent testing. This might surprise you because French rice from Camargue has a reputation for quality and it's often marketed as premium. But recent European consumer testing found that some batches had elevated arsenic levels and contamination issues. The problem isn't universal across all Camargue rice, but there's inconsistency between batches according to French Consumer Reports, which indicates quality control issues. Some batches test clean, others don't. When you're spending premium prices for specialty rice, you deserve consistent quality. If you're buying Camargue rice, make sure it's from a brand that publishes their testing results publicly and has third-party certification. Otherwise, there are better options for your money. Alright, we've covered 5 brands and types to avoid. Rice from southern US states. Whole Foods 365 brown rice, instant pre-cooked rice, generic mixed origin rice, and inconsistent Camargue rice. Now here's the good news. There are excellent brands available. Brands that have invested in quality processes, conduct rigorous heavy metal testing, keep nutrients intact, and have reasonable prices. And I'm not talking about expensive imported brands you can only find in specialty stores. I'm talking about brands available in regular supermarkets. In fact, when I started this research, I was buying 2 of the problematic types one just mentioned. I made the switch 6 months ago to the brands I am about to recommend and the difference has been noticeable. My energy is more stable during the day. I don't have those sugar crashes in the afternoon that made me reach for coffee or sweets. My digestion improved significantly, and honestly, the taste is better. Quality rice tastes different, it has more aroma, better texture. So, are you ready for the good news? Let's go with the 5 brands I recommend. And to make this super useful, I'll tell you for each one where to find it, approximately how much it costs, what makes it special, and who it's best for. We'll start with number 5 and work up to my personal favorite at number 1. And here's what I want you to do. As I go through these, pick at least one that sounds good to you and commit to trying it on your next grocery trip. Just one. That's all I'm asking. One better choice. Recommended brand number 5. Basmati rice from India or Pakistan, specifically Tilda brand. Tilda is a well-known brand available worldwide in major supermarkets. What makes it special? First, it's basmati rice from the Himalayan foothills region. This geography matters tremendously. Studies show that basmati rice from India and Pakistan consistently has lower arsenic levels than rice from other regions. Independent testing on Tilda products showed arsenic levels averaging around 70 to 80 parts per billion, which is excellent. That's less than half of what we found in problematic brands. Second, the nutritional profile. Even the white basmati version retains more nutrients than standard white rice because the processing is gentler. It has approximately 1.2 grams of fiber per serving versus 0.3 for common white rice, 40% more B vitamins, and significant levels of magnesium and zinc. Third, lower glycemic index. Basmati rice, even the white version, has a glycemic index around 58 compared to 73 for standard white rice. This is because basmati has a different starch composition with more amylose, which digests more slowly. Fourth, taste and texture. Basmati has a distinctive nutty aroma and fluffy texture. The grains stay separate and don't clump. It's perfect for pilafs, biryanis, or just as a side dish. Cooking time is about 15 to 18 minutes, similar to regular white rice. Price-wise, Tilda costs about 20 to 30% more than generic white rice, but it's comparable to or even cheaper than some of the problematic premium brands I mentioned. For example, it costs less than Whole Foods 365 and is nutritionally superior in every aspect. Who is it ideal for? This brand is perfect if you want better nutrition without giving up the convenience of white rice. Your family rejects brown rice. You're looking for glucose control but want quick cooking, or you want good quality price ratio. Where to find it? Tilda is available in Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Walmart, Target, and most international sections of major supermarkets worldwide. It's widely distributed and accessible. Recommended brand number 4, Lundberg Family Farms from California. This is probably the most recommended brand by nutritionists and health experts in North America, and for good reason based on their transparent testing practices. Lundberg is a family-owned company that's been growing rice in California for generations. What makes Lundberg special? First, California-grown rice. Remember what I said about geography. California rice consistently shows the lowest arsenic levels in the United States, according to FDA regional testing data. Independent analysis of Lundberg products showed averages around 80 parts per billion, which is excellent. How do they achieve this? They carefully select cultivation fields in regions without contamination history, use an irrigation system that minimizes arsenic absorption, conduct rigorous testing of every batch before commercializing it, and actually publish their test results on their website quarterly. That level of transparency is rare in the industry, and it's one reason I trust them. Recommended brand number 2, Royal Basmati Rice. Royal is another excellent basmati brand with wide distribution. It's available in most major supermarkets, Asian grocery stores, and even many smaller markets. What makes Royal special? First, sourced from premium regions in India and Pakistan known for high testing showed arsenic levels in the safe range, typically 70 to 90 parts per billion depending on the specific harvest. Second, aged rice. Royal ages their basmati rice before packaging, which is traditional practice that enhances flavor and improves cooking properties. Aged basmati has better aroma, fluffier texture, and the grains separate more easily when cooked. Third, variety of packaging sizes. You can buy small bags to try it out, or large 10 to 20 pound bags if you eat rice regularly. The larger bags offer significant savings, bringing the per serving cost down to budget levels. Fourth, extra long grains. Royal specializes in extra long grain basmati, which is considered premium. The grains can nearly double in length when cooked, creating an impressive presentation and excellent texture. Fifth, widely available. This is important. You can find Royal Basmati in Walmart, Costco, ethnic grocery stores, Amazon, and many regional supermarket chains. Price-wise, it's very competitive. In bulk sizes, it costs only slightly more than generic white rice but delivers far superior quality and nutritional profile. Who is it ideal for? Royal is perfect if you eat rice frequently and want to buy in bulk. You want premium basmati at affordable prices. You like traditional aged rice with authentic flavor, or you need something widely available that doesn't require special trips to specific stores. And now, we've arrived at my personal favorite, number 1. Recommended brand number 1, Lundberg Organic Brown Basmati. Yes, I'm putting another Lundberg product as number 1, but it's specifically their organic brown basmati, and here's why it's my absolute favorite. This is the rice I buy for my family every single week. It's the best balance between nutritional quality, safety, taste, price, and availability. First, lowest arsenic levels. This specific product has the lowest arsenic levels I've found in all my research comparing published testing data. Consistent averages of 50 to 60 parts per billion. How they combine California growing, which naturally has lower arsenic, with careful field selection, a patented washing process, organic farming practices, and testing every single batch. They actually publish results monthly on their website. That transparency is exceptional. Second, complete nutritional profile. As brown rice, you get 4 grams of fiber per serving. Most brands have 3 to 3.5, all B vitamins in significant amounts, magnesium, phosphorus, manganese, selenium, natural antioxidants, and a glycemic index of 48, which is low. Third, superior taste. Here's what's special. This brown rice has a mild, pleasant flavor. It's not bitter or overly earthy like some brown rice varieties. My wife, who initially rejected brown rice entirely, now prefers this over white rice. The texture is perfect. Firm but not hard, with good chew, as chefs say. It works for everything from rice bowls to stir-fries to even rice salads. Fourth, reasonable cooking time. They've developed a grain that cooks in 28 to 30 minutes, which is fast for brown rice. With a rice cooker, it's even easier. Just set it and forget it. Fifth, the price is right. It costs about 25 to 30% more than generic white rice. For me, it's the best value. You get premium quality at a reasonable price. If you buy the larger presentation of 2 to 3 pounds, the cost per serving is almost identical to mediocre quality brands. Sixth, eco-friendly practices. They use regenerative agriculture practices that improve soil health, have carbon-neutral certification, and the packaging is 100% recyclable. This is another strong point. It's in major supermarkets, health food stores, available for home delivery in major cities, and you can order directly from their website with subscription options for regular deliveries. Who is it ideal for? Honestly, for everyone. It's my universal recommendation. If you're only going to make one change after watching this video, make it this one. I've been exclusively buying this brand for 2 years now. My energy is more stable throughout the day. My digestion improved noticeably. I lost about 7 pounds without dieting, just from switching from refined rice to this. And my glucose tests improved remarkably. I'm not affiliated with the brand. They don't pay me to mention it. It's simply the best option I've found after exhaustively researching. And look, I want to hear from you. After you try this or any of the recommended brands, come back and leave a comment telling me how it went. Did you notice a difference? Does your family like it? I read every comment and I genuinely want to know. So there you have it, the 5 best rice brands you can buy today. Tilda Basmati for accessible quality. Lundberg Family Farms for California-grown excellence. Trader Joe's Basmati for unbeatable value. Royal Basmati for bulk buying. And Lundberg Organic Brown Basmati is the ultimate choice. Now let me give you some final tips that will make all this information even more useful. First, how to cook rice to reduce arsenic even more. There's a cooking method supported by research that can reduce arsenic by up to 50%. Instead of using the absorption method where you use 2 cups water to 1 cup rice, cook rice like pasta. Use 6 to 10 cups of water for 1 cup of rice. Boil the rice until tender, then drain the excess water. Studies show this removes a significant amount of arsenic because arsenic is water. Yes, you'll lose some nutrients too, but if you're concerned about arsenic, this trade-off is worth it. This is especially important if you're cooking rice for young children or if you're pregnant. Second, rotate your rice varieties. Don't eat the same type of rice every single day. Rotate between white basmati, brown rice, and other grains like quinoa or f. This reduces your exposure to any single contaminant and gives you a broader spectrum of nutrients. Third, soak your rice before cooking. Soaking rice in water for 30 minutes before cooking and then rinsing it thoroughly can reduce arsenic by up to 30% according to food safety studies. It's a simple step that makes a real difference. Fourth, read labels carefully. Always check where the rice is grown. If it doesn't say, that's a red flag. Reputable brands are transparent about origin. Look for third-party testing certifications. Some brands display results from independent labs. Check the harvest date if available. Fresher rice is better. Avoid vague terms like product of various countries. Fifth, consider rice alternatives. If you're eating rice every single day, consider mixing in other grains a few times a week. Quinoa, bulgur, farro, barley, and cauliflower rice are all excellent alternatives that provide variety and different nutrients. Sixth, if you have young children, be extra careful. The FDA has set limits specifically for infant rice products at 100 parts per billion because children are more vulnerable to arsenic exposure. If you're preparing rice for babies or toddlers, choose the lowest arsenic options like California-grown white basmati. Cook it in excess water and drain. And don't make rice cereal the primary food every single day. Rotate with other grains like oatmeal. Seventh, don't panic about rice you've already eaten. If you've been eating high arsenic rice for years, don't stress about the past. Arsenic exposure risk is cumulative and dose-dependent. Making the switch now to better brands will significantly reduce your future exposure. Your body can eliminate arsenic over time when you stop the exposure. Focus on what you can control going forward. Eighth, store your rice properly. Keep rice in airtight containers in a cool, dry place. This prevents oxidation and keeps it fresh longer. If you buy in bulk, consider storing extra in the freezer. Rice can last for months in the freezer without losing quality. Ninth, trust your senses. Good quality rice should smell fresh and slightly sweet or nutty. If it smells musty, stale, or off in any way, don't eat it. Visual inspection matters too. The grains should look uniform, clean, and free from debris. If you see discoloration, broken grains, or any foreign material, that's a sign of poor quality control. 10th, vote with your wallet. When you buy from brands that prioritize quality, transparency, and testing, you're supporting better practices in the industry. Companies respond to consumer demand. The more people ask for tested arsenic rice, the more brands will provide it. So that's everything. 10 brands covered, 5 to avoid, and 5 recommended, plus practical tips you can use immediately. Now, the next step is yours, and this is important. On your next trip to the supermarket, apply what you learned today. Check the labels, avoid the problematic types, and try at least one of the recommended brands. Just one. Don't overthink it. Pick one and buy it. And when you do, I'd love to hear your experience. Come back to this video and leave a comment telling me which brand you tried and how it went. Did you notice a difference in how you felt? Did your family like the taste? Your feedback helps me and it helps other people watching this decide what to try. Remember, small consistent changes generate big results. Changing the rice brand you buy might seem like something small, but when you do it week after week, month after month, the cumulative impact on your health is enormous. So don't underestimate the power of these seemingly simple decisions. Your body will thank you years from now for the choices you make today. If you found this helpful, do me one more favor. Share this video with someone who needs to see it. Your mom, your spouse, your friend who's trying to eat healthier. This information can genuinely help people make better choices, and if you want more content like this, hit subscribe so you don't miss future videos where I break down other foods and products the same way. I'm working on one about cooking oils next because there's a ton of misinformation out there. Alright, that's it. Thanks for staying until the end, and I'll see you in the next one.